Yeah, no, he is a Reddit mod. And you might have just suspected that from, the way he looks. But yes, he is absolutely a Reddit mod.
You will pet me, whether you like it or not.
Afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is our broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a very special day in a very special way for all of you out there, no matter where you are in the world. I'm alive, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one. This is a part of the broadcast where I will get to my personal news in a brief moment. But before I get to my personal news in a brief moment, of course, you might be wondering, Hasan, why is it a very special day? What's the deal? What's the dealio? Why is it a special day? And there's an answer for that. Because it's a very special day every time this day comes every week. And that is because it's Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
You know we finally here, right?
Well,
It's Friday then.
It's freaking
Saturday,
Friday,
Sunday,
everybody.
what? It's Friday then.
That's right. It's Freaky Friday. It's Get Your Freak On Friday. It's Flat Friday. It's Your Landlord, Your Boss Friday. Very special day of the week that our forefathers fought long and hard for so that you could potentially get a weekend. That's right. Just made my first student loan payment, but at least it's Friday. That's right. If you like the weekend, thank a union. If you like the weekend, thank the union movement. If you like a weekend, if you like the 40-hour work week, thank a socialist. Because let's be real, they are the reason. Our bosses would never actually give us, those who rule over us would never actually offer us the dignity to take the weekend off. Okay. So as is the break, as is what we do, as is tradition here every Friday, we try to make sure that the vibes are good. You know what I mean? The vibes are immaculate. The mustache is gone. Yeah, I chose to shave it. I chose to shave it. I know this might come as a surprise to people. I know people love the mustache, but I chose to shave it and then regrow it. Recession indicator. Did Northern Lion get back to you? I don't think he did. I DM'd him yesterday. Maybe he doesn't fuck with me. I don't know. Or maybe he got scared. Maybe he's a part of the CIJ, whatever. Or maybe he saw me slander the milk bags. I don't know. Is that sis still not gotten smaller? No. Is going to Minneapolis still planned? Yes. But ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, this is Friday. He doesn't use X anymore, if that's what you DM'd him. No, I DM'd him on Discord. But if you listen to the new A$AP Rocky album, Fire, I have not. I don't listen to music. You already know that. So, folks, we're live. We're alive. Yeah, I don't know. We're alive, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one. Okay, can we get a kayak cam for the dog lovers? No. You talk so much slower than the 1.5x speed playback? Maybe. Mark Carney is linking up with Xi Jinping, or has already linked up with Xi Jinping. He's living my dream. Canadians are living my dream as well. Better trade negotiations, better trade relationship with China as Canada leverages its standing in the world. On the one plank, you have obviously the unstable United States of America. On the other, you have a country that maintains stability around global trade. As long as Marx doesn't tell Xi that they have milk bags, I think they're probably going to have a pretty fine relationship overall. In any case, personal news-wise, last night, for those of you who are aware, after Dr. Abdul El Sayed was in the building, I went to my first ever fundraiser. A fundraiser that was conducted in a highfalutin, high society, Hollywood home. Fundraiser dinner. Now, obviously, Abdul doesn't take any Corpo PAC money, so it's, he's trying to get as many individual donos as he can. And, but like, individuals can only max out. 20 years ago, you would never go, you changed? Yes, 20 years ago, I would be 14 years old. So that would be strange of me to go to an event like that. You mean sex party like Eyes Wide Shut? And no, definitely not like that. Everyone, the average age in the room was like 60, I think. And it wasn't like super duper fancy. It was like a Q&A. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I'm sure like the actual like corporate pack, like big donor Larry Ellison style events are like way more expensive. But this is more so just like a regular home where a bunch of like liberals get together, I think, like kind-hearted, open-minded liberals get together. And this is like they're like Bernie boosters, right? But what I thought was really interesting was when I walked in, I thought I was walking into enemy territory, right? Like, no disrespect, a lot of white people, especially on the older side. So like, I don't know what their political background is. Like what I'm used to is like the rooms that I go to, or the spaces that I go to, the organizations that I normally encounter is very different. It's much more diverse. I realize that. Or even if it's more on the whiter side, it's much younger, right? So I thought this is going to be like, enemy territory. I thought I was going to get like people asking me to condemn Hamas or something. None of that. I was wrong. I was being a little, it was my mistake. My theory that the older whites are getting radicalized over and over again, and more radical than they ever have been, is real. And obviously, it's not. I was being a little white phobic for sure. I'll say it like this: they are much more radical than the way that the Democratic Party carries itself. Like they're fairly locked in, fairly tuned in, and fairly aware of what's going on in the world, and very upset, and they want to fix it. Did other celebrities appear? No, it wasn't like a star-studded gala style situation. It was like a fairly modest home and I don't know what these people do. The son is a Hasanabi head, by the way, so shouts out to him. He was like one of the only people aside from like Abdul and his team and the Pod Johns that knew who I was. But it was interesting seeing it. It was interesting seeing it. Like it wasn't like a celebrity event. It was more so like old Hollywood producers and stuff. And it wasn't like it wasn't like as uptight as you would think. But definitely an interesting experience. And it's also very cool seeing like, actual Gen Xers and boomers on the ball. Like they're locked in. But then again, this is California. So yeah. But it's interesting seeing their frustrations with establishment Democrats. That I thought was very, very cool. Now, of course, these are like, Bernie guys. These are people who have like been Bernie supporters since like 2016. So they've been on it. But Hasan, are you explaining your attendance at an Epstein fundraising event? I can't tell if this is like someone trying to crack a joke or if it's like an actual hater whose brain is completely fundamentally broken. No, it is a person whose brain is fundamentally broken, because the previous thing that they said was everyone in chat should join a union. If they don't have a union, they should find one or start one. IWW has resources for people to learn how to start unionizing and organizing their workplaces. I have seen libs still left bashing and blaming the voters. No. See, that's what I mean. That's actually, so people who tune in here know that I've talked about this quite a bit, but I think a lot of liberals are not doing that right now. I think that is what you see online, right? That's what you see with people who want market share in the commentary sphere. But I don't think the average liberal actually is invested in that sort of thing. I don't think the average voter is, holding accountable the people that refuse to vote for Donald Trump. Refuse to vote for Kamala Harris when they should have. Like, I don't think that's as common as you see on the internet. As I was saying yesterday, I think there is a constituency of blue MAGA, blue Anon loyalists who still do this, like, Bernie was bad because Bernie allowed Hillary Clinton to lose style attitudes, even though this time around it was statistically negligible. Third-party voters were genuinely statistically negligible. So there is far less people like that. As I explained to you yesterday, and these numbers or these percentages are completely made up in my mind, but like I think there is a 20% of the American population that is MAGA across the board, like cult-like. And then there's like, these are eligible percentages when you really think about who can move in whichever direction. Those who are liberals, I think, can and have already moved to a further left position, demanding Medicare for all, demanding decoupling from Israel in a significant way. Like these were the things that I was seeing from, once again, white Jewish Hollywood executives, okay, that are, Democratic Party donors in general. Now, of course, it's Hollywood, and there's, for every white Jewish older Hollywood executive that's like saying, we got to do something about this Israel situation, there's probably a lot more that's a lot wealthier as well that is saying the opposite, where what the Democrats need to do is maybe double down on allegiances to Israel or whatever. But genuinely, things that I talked about, things that I found very interesting, things that I found very surprising was like how open people were to talk about how ridiculous a lot of the pro-Israel crowd has gotten, We're talking about people who have direct descendants that did not survive the Holocaust, right? Like they're old enough to have an immediate relative, right? Like this is not statistically the crowd that would be anti-Israel at all. This is statistically the pro-Israel crowd, and yet it was not the case at all. And I was genuinely shocked, and it was definitely a big conversation that was being had. So, I said descendants. Sorry, these are the descendants of Holocaust, survivors and people who did not survive the Holocaust, right? Did you go to some event or something? Yeah. It was just like a small fundraiser thing. It was the first ever fundraiser that I went to. My point is it's a fascinating change that's happening, I think, in the party. It's a fascinating change that I'm noticing that's taking place in the party, in the base of the party, rather. And all of these like external pressures are considered negligible, especially when they are dialed in. Especially when the people that we're talking about, especially when the people that especially when the people that they are genuinely invested in are people that have this proven track record in their minds that they can identify the people that just haven't voted at all or the people that voted for Donald Trump. If you can convince liberals that you can get Trump supporters on your side and also non-aligned people on your side with a class-first politics, they will 100% ride or die for you. And I think that's where the attitude is moving, I think, amongst the base. Your audio is delayed, is it? I don't think everyone's saying no. So what you're saying is you're getting Mark Ruffalo on the show. Keep spamming that. Eventually, I will have Mark Ruffalo on the show. Okay? Eventually. How do I get lucky with the ladies? Be chill, be cool. Some shadow said this is drama, but it's important to remind everyone what the people who conspire to ruin your life look like and how pathetic they are. Stale tarot card was removed from his mod position for trying to scam LSF. Oh, dude, I know. I saw this. I saw this photo. I do want to talk about this later, especially with the coverage from the Moist Critical coverage as well. It's Friday. We're obviously going to scale back on like hardcore news coverage, so we might get to it later. But it is pretty funny. He is a Reddit mod, and you might have just suspected that from the way he looks. But yes, he is absolutely a Reddit mod. Did you see a clip in the mod chat where he said Reddit mods deserve to be respected? Yes. Only my Reddit mods and no other Reddit mods deserve to be respected. But yeah, this is the guy that has been the Destiny superfan that's been actively trying to ruin my life after taking control of LSF, Livestream Fails, the subreddit, and basically using it as a negative PR campaign for like the last couple of years at this point. And he actually got kicked off of his position by the actual Reddit, like people at Reddit had to forcibly remove him from ownership over LSF, not because he's been, doing mass harassment operations or anything like that, but because he got a little too big for his britches, he got a little too greedy, he got a little too money hungry, and decided to pull off a scam. What started his beef with you? Him? He was a fan of mine. He just hates me because Destiny hates me, and he's a super fan of Destiny. That's simple. But it doesn't matter. He's been able to successfully ruin the LSF subreddit, which was at a certain point in time a place where everyone would go to that was on Twitch that could like find out about what was going on Twitch. It was a place where people would post their clips. It was a place where people could like blow up and become famous content creators, and now it's not that. Okay, now, but it's probably not going to turn into that ever again. But there is some restructuring going on. But yeah, it's mostly just an anti-Hasan farm. And then sometimes when Destiny puts the crosshairs on Asmongold, it becomes like a Destiny Asmongold operation as well. So they go back and forth on there. But it's mostly just like run by, like I said, this guy who is a major Destiny fan. It was more wholesome and fun instead of just drama slop than it is now. Yeah, nowadays it's just to try and like get their least favorite content creator to like commit suicide. It hasn't been successful because, I'm the guy that they're going after for the most part for the past couple of years. But, that's basically what the subreddit has turned into, which is why it's so weak and so bad at pushing its message. They really keep trying to farm you, no success. And do you end up with the next mayor of New York City? I know. I think it's dangerous and deadly for government officials to be telling people to disregard federal officers. Very dangerous. What are you talking about? At what point do you think it's appropriate for people to say, hey, some of these rules that these guys are designing are not actually legal at all, and you don't need to follow illegal orders just because someone is wearing a badge if they're completely outside of their... Like, here, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm a senator, okay? And I tell my constituents, hey, if a cop comes to your home and they don't have a warrant and they decide to break your door and they decide to, like, I don't know, physically or sexually assault your wife or your daughter or something, you can defend yourself. Do you think I'm actually creating chaos? Do you think I'm actually creating chaos? Do you think I'm actually telling someone that they're in the wrong? You do realize that in that situation, the law enforcement officer is the one that's actually violating the law. Your logic is not sound. Sexual assault is completely different than what's going on. First of all, ironically enough, I use sexual assault as an example specifically because it's not that different from what's going on. It has been going on. That's number one. There are numerous instances where ICE agents have actually sexually assaulted people in their custody. And not only that, but also it's not a very extreme example. If you think that that's extreme, then you probably should actually be on my side on this argument because it's something that has been happening and it's something that has happened already. So that's number one. And number two, the reason why I use that is because I want to test out what your boundaries are. You know what I mean? I want to see like if there is a point that you would say no to. And I'm glad that you and I agree that sexual assault is actually extreme. So you and I should probably be on the same side on this issue, considering that is clearly something that you find to be a bridge too far, and ICE has been doing that. So maybe we should actually scale them back pretty significantly and maybe abolish it in its entirety. And not just because of sexual assault, but because the entire principle that it hinges on is also... I like that, though. I like that, we could find agreement quickly. There are ways to protest this scenario, and rational and harming federal officers and preaching that cause chaos is not the way. Yeah, I don't want chaos, which is why we're protesting ICE presence in these streets, because ICE is the one that's creating chaos. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk again. Okay? That's 2 in a row. All right. Let's blast off. Let's blast off and let's get started. There's a lot going on, okay? There is a lot going on in the world. Got to get to it and got to talk about it as always, okay? But this morning I woke up and I worked out. I do have, I don't know, I just don't sleep too well as of late. I don't know what it is. And we'll watch TAFs too. Yes, TAFs we'll watch as well. Don't worry. that's a really good blast off meme. That's funny. I should have used that one. This one is funny. I haven't been sleeping too well, and I don't know what the reason for it is. I need to lock in. I need to lock in on my sleep. Okay. Lack of doing outside of streaming. What do you mean? I went to a fundraiser dinner last night, and it was interesting. It's probably the 500 milligrams of caffeine and nicotine. Sure. It's probably more than 500 milligrams if we're being serious. And maybe it's the stress. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Okay. When I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. But in any case, we're blasting off. So let the people know that we're live. We're alive. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful time. We're going to get right into it.
You will pet me, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not.